Hello, and thank you so much for joining me, your wrestling librarian, today for the Smackdown post show here on Fightful for October 17th, 2025. Thanks for hanging out with me on this Friday night. Going solo for this one. I don't think Sean will be popping on here, but I wouldn't be stunned if he was because we actually had quite an eventful little Smackdown today. So, talk about it with me. I'm going to need your help today. I am on my own out here. So get in your super chats, get in your humper chats at humperchats.com. Please do leave a thumbs up on this video. You have no idea how much that helps us in the algorithm. I'm going alone. I need those thumbs up for the validation as much as the algorithm needs it. But please do leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already. We've got a big setup for the end of this year into 2026. We're going to be kind of diversifying some content on here. So do subscribe because you want to be in the loop for that. But also our bread and butter. I know we hit you hard at the beginning of these streams with our laundry list of stuff, but FightfulSelect.com. Boy, oh boy, what a week did we have following this Andrade contract saga. It's been quite a ride with this, but Sean has had it accurately the whole way. And we even got the language specifically used in the contract of what's been going on with Andrade. If you are not in the know, well, we invite you to be in the know on Fightful Select about what's going on with Andrade. But sounds like there was some confusion over whether or not there was a non-compete when he showed up on AEW. There's a lot of things that need to happen to get that straightened out, but FightfulSelect.com has all of the juiciest details on that and so much more. We had a loaded report about Seth Rollins' injury as well. We had a Jamie Hayter interview up there early for subscribers, but that is now public. You can go see Jamie Hayter and Sean recast Scooby-Doo since Jamie Hayter is so Daphne inspired. Daphne coded, as the kids say. Last week, we had a very, very detailed report about the ratings changes, the Nielsen changes, and how that is affecting professional wrestling and so much more, including confirmation of bodyslam.net story. Great work by Corey Hayes and bodyslam.net on Ilja Dragunov being backstage tonight. But Fightful Select, the thing that Sean loves to do is if someone else breaks a story, he always goes out of his way to find details that supplement the story. So today's were really important because we had sources that said that Ilja Dragunov both had a neck tattoo and was jacked, and both of those things were true. So the hardest hitting news on FightfulSelect.com, but it is how our staff gets paid. It is our lifeblood, and we thank all of you who subscribe. There's a free tier over there too, where you get the headlines of all of our stories as well. So head on over there and subscribe at either tier. But the pay tier, you get everything you could want and more, and it does go right back into Fightful. We actually have so much to talk about, and I'm so excited. Ilja Dragunov back. We're gonna start with that because I don't want to keep you guys waiting to talk about the juiciest stuff. But I also love the way the show ended, and we're gonna talk about that too. But Big Jim rolling in with some support saying, fine commentary and lovely as always, Miss Kate, forever OCK. Well, we appreciate you throwing up the ones for me. Thank you so much. And Taylor Cannon saying, hello, wonderful Kate. Well, hello, wonderful Taylor. Good news, Dragunov is back and now champ. Bad news, Jacob Fatu looks to be hurt. I hope he is going to be okay. Yeah, my heart just shatters for that guy because he has been such a refreshing presence in WWE from the beginning and was really having like a breakout year, breakout moments this entire time. So I feel like he'll come back hotter than ever, but from my understanding, he's been sidelined with a non-wrestling related medical deal. I don't know if it's an injury or the nature of it. I'm not, by saying medical thing, I'm not trying to imply that it isn't something that's like a typical injury based. I just don't know. So you never know what that can mean. But we it just, it sucks, man. Like there's a tier of things that suck to talk about on air. And the biggest ones are obviously like what happened to Jay Briscoe and Bray Wyatt. And I was on air the nights of both of those. That's obviously the absolute worst. And then there's like job losses, which sucks so much. And usually there's people being assholes around it. And then there's stuff like this where it's like, man, guys just like in the thick of such a momentous run, getting sidelined by injuries is or medical issues, whatever it is, just absolutely sucks. Just absolutely sucks. Follow up saying shout out to ChatGPT for bringing my boy back and giving him the US title. So there was a report in Wrestling Observer today that WWE hired a new I believe director of creative strategy. Don't quote me exactly on that, but I'm pretty sure that was the title, and that they're going to be focused on AI storytelling and integration. And I jokingly said to myself, today was a very good episode of SmackDown. I'm not going to take away from that, but I was like, oh, good, because this product needs to feel like it has less life to it, make it more robotic and soulless, because things that felt so stale and formulaic and paint by numbers, I was like, I don't think we need ChatGPT to do that. I think you guys already nailed that. Just ChatGPT will just put like M dashes in all the scripts and use like emoji checklists, right? But hey, if ChatGPT is putting Ilja back on my screen and writing the end of this, go for it, because that was better. Not like trying to sacrifice the environment at the hands of it or anything, but let's talk about this, because Bodyslam.net did report ahead of time that Ilja Dragunov was going to be returning. Sean did confirm that, mentioned that he was jacked and had a neck tattoo, according to backstage sources. So all of that turned out to be true, and he shows up to answer the open challenge of Sami Zayn and his US title. And I cannot say enough about like how refreshing the open challenge from Sami Zayn has been. I don't love how we got there. I don't like that Seth Rollins on Raw was basically like, if you want to win anything, you should just go to the other show so that you can do it, because you're not going to win anything around here. You don't have what it takes. And he was like, basically, that's correct. I'm going to go to SmackDown and I'm going to win a title over there. But then he did. And it's been the most refreshing thing, because the matches are just always really good. I don't love how many of them ended in interference, which was like pretty much all of them, or some sort of silly distraction. But I do love that we were getting real wrestling matches. And I feel like it's such a testament to pro wrestling that the SmackDown crowd, this was always the most over thing, whether it was Javon Evans, whether it was tonight. Like, I so appreciate that we just got back to putting on really good wrestling matches and the crowd being along for the ride. It just kind of further proves the point that it's that damn simple, and that wrestling crowds do in fact want to watch wrestling, as much as they tell us they're more writing movies. Like, we know that, right? So this was just such a reminder that they're still here for wrestling. They're also here to yeet along and listen to promos and all of these things. But like, you don't have to abandon wrestling. They were almost at a point where they were making a mockery of having matches and telling stories through matches. And Sami Zayn's open challenge, I felt like, brought so much of that back. And I was like, man, don't have Ilja lose if you're going to do this. Please don't have Ilja lose. The guy's 32. You desperately need some fresh blood. He's been out for 54 weeks. He's a beast. He should beat Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn having an open challenge and not being able to prepare for Ilja Dragunov, he shouldn't win that fight. I'm sorry. Sami's amazing. Sami's unbelievable. But like, Sami Zayn not knowing he's facing Ilja Dragunov, to me, is so much a part of why Ilja Dragunov should win. Because in order to, if you're able to somehow possibly beat Ilja Dragunov, you should have to strategize to beat that guy. That should be an incredible thing that happens when you actually beat Ilja. And it should require a ton of clever planning and a game plan. So I am refreshed by this decision. The match was fantastic. Like, the match was so, so great. I can't say enough about Sami Zayn as a babyface. Like, this was so intense. Ilja is so physical, and Sami is just a fine heel. He's great. But it's kind of like how the inverse of how I feel about CM Punk, right? Like, CM Punk is a good guy. Oh, I think he's such a great bad guy, though. And I've been waiting for a CM Punk heel turn since he came back to wrestling in AEW. I wanted to turn heel there, much less in WWE, right? I feel the same about Sami in the reverse, that he is a good bad guy. He's just the best babyface, though, man. He's so, so good. His selling, his facial expressions, the way he's able to emphasize things without being cartoonish about it is something that, like, I wish there was more of in all of pro wrestling, and especially WWE. He's just fantastic. I'm someone who loves a million near falls, and there were a lot of near falls in this. So this match was like built for me. They let it go over 19 minutes. I loved the way this was built. Dragunov just hitting all of these German suplexes. Sami with his own trio of them, and then the Blue Thunder Bomb. Dragunov countering the Haluva kick with the Torpedo Moscow. I'm like still thinking about, and surviving another Blue Thunder Bomb, which I like because Sami's relationship with the Blue Thunder Bomb is very complicated, right? Like, at first he could never win with it, and now he was winning with it in a way that it was maybe more protected than it should be. We're going to talk about that at the end of the show too. And then here it's like what I think the Blue Thunder Bomb from Sami should be, which is he can win with it sometimes against certain guys, but I don't think Ilja Dragunov should be one of those guys. And him counterbombing it with the Torpedo Moscow, I thought was awesome. The only thing I don't like is Solo Sikoa appearing on the ramp to distract Sami. You get Dragunov countering a Haluva kick with a Torpedo Moscow and the H-bomb combo for the win. And it just didn't need it. It didn't need it. Like, I understand that we're probably continuing some story with Solo Sikoa. Maybe that's going to be leading to a Survivor Series. Maybe something will happen there with the MFTs and Sami getting a band together or whatever. But, like, this match was so great, and it just let it ride the ride. It's almost 20 minutes long. It's Ilja Dragunov. Like, the physicality was so impressive and so perfectly accepted by Sami Zayn and perfectly executed by Ilja. Like, Ilja has this crispness that you can't teach. It's like there's some guys, Kyle Fletcher has gained this as time has gone on with him. There's just certain like snap and explosiveness to things that you can't teach because it's just the way you're executing the moves that's so special. And Ilja has that. He's not just fast, he's quick. Like, he will snap a move off in half a second. Like, in the blink of an eyelash, you are getting your ass handed to you. And I think the world of his work. His presentation's amazing. Like, the whole crowd is behind his theme, and the way he walks out, he's just so damn certain in who he is as a wrestler. And I absolutely, absolutely adore that. I can't say enough good things about this match. This is one I would just tell you to go and watch. We just didn't need the Solo Sikoa distraction. And he also basically just stood there. Like, Sami Zayn is not a new kid at this. Like, he shouldn't be distracted by something like that. I guess because it's a whole band of guys, maybe he starts looking over his shoulder. And he doesn't technically win right off of that, I don't think. But it just didn't need it. Just let wrestling matches ride the way they're going to ride, you know? That's my take on it. But I thought it was one of the gutsier things they've done on the show. I think it's a great payoff to the US Open Challenge. I think Sami getting a rematch is appropriate so he can be prepared this time. I think he should still lose, but a distraction-free version of this would be a cool payback, but they'll probably just go into a Sami solo program. So I won't get my dream come true on that, but I will say productive use of an Open Challenge run, productive way to put someone over. This is not, I have been screaming week after week on the show. Do something with somebody that is not closer to 40 than they are to 35, much less 30. Ilja Dragunov is young. He's 32 years old. He is fresh, and he grabs the crowd immediately. So he's the right candidate for something like this. I would love to see them do something like this with Carmelo Hayes. I would like to see them do anything with Carmelo Hayes. I think there's no reason Javon shouldn't be on the main roster, but like, I have no objections to doing this with Ilja Dragunov. I just hope they find homes for the other talent that are there. But we got some more chats from you guys. Thank you so much. Tim McFallow saying, sorry I'm late. I had a non-compete and my teeth were all over the floor. Oh, no. Jokes aside, I didn't hate the show. Vic on commentary was amazing. He makes everything feel important and better. Sammy and Ilja lit it up. So happy he's back. I cannot say enough good things about Vic Joseph on commentary. I am continually so frustrated every Tuesday that he's paired with Booker T, because whether you like what Booker T does or not, I don't think you can argue that it interferes with Vic Joseph more than it supports him. And when you just let Vic Joseph fly, he is a top 3, top 5 commentator, no doubt, in my opinion. Like, to me, he's the best play-by-play guy that WWE has, and that's not a knock at anybody else. I just think that highly of this guy. And Corey Graves, I actually prefer his Tuesday style to his main roster style, where he's playing the heel commentator so much. When he's on a 3-man group, he's a little bit more neutral, and I just feel like the value of how Graves shines through on Tuesdays is a little bit brighter. But this was a refreshing duo. Vic Joseph's incredible. I wish that we got to hear him more, and I wish that more people got to hear him. I wish he was doing main roster commentary, because he's excellent. He's no joke, man. Thank you guys for the support here. Greg Cherry, he's always so good to us, saying supporting Fightful because there's better coverage on wrestling than the Steelers have for defense. Oh, tell me about it, man. Sigh. I love you, Kate. Hope you're feeling better. I am. So I mentioned on Twitter that I had COVID, but that was a couple weeks ago. So I'm feeling better. I think there was just a time warp where some people thought I had it more recently, but it isn't more recently. I'm hanging in there. I still have work to do on getting my lungs back in shape, but we are getting better every day. But thank you so much for the chat. Matt Rackhill saying, here to support my OTK. Thank you so much. My heart literally shattered when Jay Briscoe passed away. We get Ilja back, but lose Jacob. What if Cody took out Jacob? We're going to talk about that at the end, because I've seen that conspiracy theory floated a few times. But that was maybe the hardest stream I've ever had to do, was talking about Jay Briscoe's passing hours after it happened. That was that, and I talked about Bray on the ROH post show hours after it happened too. There's just nothing more heartbreaking. Just nothing more heartbreaking than that. But we did it because you guys helped get me through, and wrestling help gets you through. And that's what we do on Fridays and every day of the damn week. Guys, keep those super chats coming. You're helping me out so much in the chat. I just need to check something real quick, and then you know what? I have to check on this. And while I do that, we're going to let Sean tell you about NordVPN in the process.
If you're a wrestling fan and you're frustrated with all the services you need to watch all the different wrestling shows, Fightful has your solution with nordvpn.com/Fightful. Change your virtual location with just one click, and you'll be able to watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and PLEs on one Netflix account. You'll also be able to get a lot of pay-per-views at a much more affordable price than you do here in the United States. This is a must-have for wrestling fans. That way you don't have to have 7 different accounts to watch all of the shows that you want to watch. In addition to that, they have a great 30-day money-back guarantee. and an incredible deal right now going on. But that's far from it. You can protect yourself on their VPN service, the fastest in the world. Shield your data from snoops and criminals. Protect yourselves on public Wi-Fi, and it's available on all your devices and operating systems. NordVPN.com/Fightful.
NordVPN. Sorry, we were having a I'm an admin on our StreamYard account, which is the platform we use to do our to stream from. If you couldn't figure that out by the name. And there's like a code that you have to log in, and somebody requested the code while I was on air. I think it might have been Alex Pulaski. I am not positive, but I sent it to him just in case. So hopefully we're okay. But we are going to keep rocking and rolling. Hey, I will tell you guys about NordVPN a little bit in addition to what Sean said there, because we got an AEW pay-per-view coming up tomorrow, and they have not made the jump to being included in Max. You get a little discount, but you get a bigger discount if you are in Lithuania purchasing that pay-per-view, right? So if you're purchasing AEW Wrestle Dream tomorrow, my goodness, please help yourself out. Save some money. The money that you spend on Nord when you use the code Fightful, you'll make up for in like 1-2 pay-per-views. And then if you head over to MyBookieAG, our other sponsor, and you place some bets on wrestling, they don't really do AEW as much. Sean's working on that, but I'm just saying you could make a lot of money. And Fightful Select has lock picks sometimes. So there you go. But keep those super chats and humper chats coming. Big Jim saying one huge benefit of Solo K is that you get more time to share your analysis and no BS. Thank you so much. You're one of the very best at breaking down every aspect of the damn thing. OTK. Well, thank you so much. That means a lot. I do have a propensity to gab, as it were. So I am always happy to yap about wrestling, even when the wrestling's not great. I love yapping about wrestling, but tonight, that was not an issue, especially with that match. That was so much damn fun, honestly. That was a blast to watch. But we do have some other things with the U.S. title chaos that happened. Backstage, we get Sami Zayn confronting Nick Aldis about his open challenge. And Aldis explained that Nakamura wasn't cleared, but we'll get a rematch. So I don't know if we're getting him versus Dragunov now, but we'll find out, I guess. And then Solo's goons kind of complicate everything on this card. You have Sami refusing to be sidelined and holding that open challenge anyway. That was, of course, before all of this. You got the Miz eavesdropping, looking intrigued, following Sami out to the ring. And as Sami makes his entrance, the Miz grabs a mic and he's about to rant about open challenges, only to be attacked by Carmelo Hayes. And the brawl spills out, and you get Sami's real opponent, which was obviously Dragunov, as we talked about. But post-match, we also get Solo and the MFTs hitting the ring and attacking Dragunov and Sami. Rey Fenix tries to make the save, but Tama Tonga choke slams him. Sorry, I'm getting an SRS text. Oh, never mind. Not time sensitive, just making sure. Sometimes we get breaking news scoops from you guys, so. Anyway, we have Solo grabbing the mic, basically just saying that his group is going to be champions again, and a Wyatt family video pops up. You get Bo Dallas appearing on screen, quoting the scripture and saying, giving a warning about the other side of the door you're knocking on. And then the Wyatts appear behind Solo's whole clan. We get a little bit of a standoff here. I have mixed feelings on this because you had to do something with the Wyatt Six, right? And at first I thought putting the entire tag division on blast was going to be a good call because I thought it would be cool to have an umbrella angle. And that kind of hasn't come to fruition. Like, we've gotten matches, but I thought it was going to be just like the Wyatt Six intimidating the hell out of everyone, knocking down the Street Profits, knocking down DIY, knocking down Pretty Deadly. Even though one is out, you can do like a substitute and you bring up someone from NXT or whatever. Like, I thought they were going to tear through everyone to build them up to be super intimidating, and it just hasn't felt like that's happened. And I wish, like, umbrella angles are tough. We've seen them fail in AEW a couple times. We've seen them struggle and fail in WWE a couple of times. But when you're going to put a whole division on blast, you got to go 110% on it. Otherwise, it just feels kind of weak. I also feel like it's kind of bullshit that they gave Bo Dallas Karrion Kross's character, right? Like, that's what happened, right? Like, this whole little mischievous playing in the ears of everybody with the perspective. I was like, hold on, that was what Karrion Kross was doing. So I think that's kind of lame, but I am looking forward to the match. I don't know where this goes, because if Solo Sikoa is not winning the US title back, does his family need a title? Because he should be going after titles then too. Like, if you're going to say you're the most dominant faction around, you got to back that up, right? With something. So winning the tag titles would be cool, but the leader of the group can't just be walking around naked with no title. So there you go. That's my thoughts on it anyway. But Ryan Sully saying, hey, Kate, wow, SmackDown kind of cooked tonight. Yeah, it did. By the way, international indie wrestler Alex Gracia was one of the docs tending to Jacob Fatu backstage. Okay, keep up the great work, Kate, and everyone at Fightful. Well, thank you for the kind words about us. That is very much appreciated. Alex Gracia, like the Pink Dream Alex Gracia, I believe that was her character. Scorpio Skies gal, that lucky guy, because she's a babe. That Alex Gracia. She's great. I saw her work on the indies and I think the early days of AEW. She's great. She's great. I think that's awesome that she was. And imagine that. She was also getting her medical degree at the same time, so she could tend to doctors or tend to wrestlers who are injured in WWE. My goodness. Yeah, same one. Putting herself through med school while in the indies. Orion Ben says, there goes our Obafemi dreams. WB Dragunov, I think, welcome back. Yes. So, you know what? I have mixed thoughts on that, because it feels like a really great place for Obafemi to come up. Sami Zayn would sell like crazy for him and have such a fun in-ring story. But I just said it about the tag division, about going balls to the wall with an umbrella story. I think you almost have to think bigger than the US title for Obafemi if you're doing it right. I think it would be cool if John Cena lost to him to retire. I don't think they're going to do that. But he needs to be brought up world title-ish. I think. I like him as an open challenge guy, Obafemi, because he could just rip through people. But if you're going to catapult someone, catapult them. In 6 months, have him be the guy to beat Cody Rhodes. Why not? Right? Have him beat whoever's going to be holding the world heavyweight title. But we'll see, because they haven't given anyone that kind of push. I will say this. With Obafemi, for those of you who don't know, because you don't watch NXT, Obafemi is like the guy. I don't know how else to put it. They have not been very good with that on the main roster from NXT so far, outside of Braun Breaker and Tiffany Stratton, right? I think there are a lot of people that felt Carmelo Hayes was the guy, and they've done nothing with him. So Obafemi, though, is a mountain of a man. He has an incredibly cool disposition. If he's going to be a champion, he's going to be a dominant champion. He's not the kind of guy that, he's certainly not the, like, I lose most of my wins or I cheat to whatever. He is built like a brick house, and he's here to kick ass. Like, that's just the way he is. Now, all they have to do is put him in the Gunther track. Gunther was an IC champion, so maybe not exactly that, but like, there was some statistic that someone in our Sour Grap Society had dug up a while back. This was even before Gunther's world title reign, I think. That was like, he held a title for X percentage of his time on the main roster. And it was like 90%-ish. And it's only gone down by like 5 or 10%. And some of that's just because he's been out with injury, right? Obafemi should be that type of dominant. So if you're not familiar with his game, that is his game. Like, he should just be treated like they treated Gunther, but do it now. Do it while he's even younger than Gunther. Do it while he's even less experienced than Gunther. Like, do it now. Do it now. Do something exciting with someone under 40 is what I've been begging for. We got that tonight. I rant about it every week. We got that tonight. Very refreshing. One LT photo saying, this is just for the on-point hot librarian look. Well, thank you. Thank you. If you give us your money, you can call me hot. That's the rule. Sean made that rule a while ago. No, I appreciate it. I know you are always very kind and respectful around here. Some people get weird. You are not one of them. That is for damn sure. For damn sure. So Obafemi, I'm intrigued to see what he gets called up into. He's being promoted for Halloween Havoc, so I don't think he's going to be here like tomorrow or anything, but it is what it is, I guess. Let's keep moving along, though. What should we talk about next? Should we save the end for the end? Let's save the end for the end. Give you guys a reason to stick around, but I actually really liked the end of this episode. I was looking at the chat. Doing a lot of things over here. Oh, man. Let's talk about the beginning. We get SmackDown opening with Nick Aldis. And he announces that Drew versus Jacob Fatu is still on. And that it'll be a number 1 contendership match. Cody hits the ring. Crowd singing along. Cody acknowledges that he lost to Seth at Crown Jewel, which I think is important. But said that it took everything Rollins had to do it, kind of saying like, hey, this dude's injured. You have to go to those lengths to beat me. And that their paths will cross down the line, to which I say, thank God Seth won, because if Seth was just 0-4 against Cody and they met down the line, that would be silly. And he hypes up Drew and Fatu in the main event. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's talk about this women's tag championship match, which was pretty good. It was pretty good. There's still this issue with the women's tag titles that, like, Bianca and Jade, both megastars, titles didn't feel important. Charlotte and Alexa Flair, both megastars, titles feel a little more important because we're having a little bit more builds into matches, which is good. Like when Jade and Bianca had them, they were like, hey, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, you're going to have a match because of Scotland and you're going to win them there. Like there was no effort given. So we're getting something. And Sol, Ruca, and Zaria are also on NXT. They're fantastic. And this match was pretty good. You knew which way it was going to go, but that was okay. If you follow NXT, you know that Sol, Ruca, and Zaria are on their way to breaking up. They're taking way too damn long to do so, in my opinion, but that's where they're headed. So this serves that story. If you're not following the NXT story, like them losing gives Zaria something to be mad about because Sol, Ruca already has 2 titles and this was her chance to get gold and they couldn't get the job done tonight. So Ruca also had entered a battle royal initially on NXT this past Tuesday for the world title. So it's been kind of like Sol Ruca just wants all this gold and doesn't really care about what her friend Zaria wants. But them not being able to get the job done here should serve that story. Zaria should be pissed that her shot at gold slipped through their fingers. But this match is pretty good. You have Charlotte and Sol Ruca with some chain wrestling, which is cool. There's some quick tags after that, and you get Alexa kind of isolating the challengers in the middle of the match, and you get Sol Ruca doing what she does best, just showing her athleticism. And there's this, I always go for like, what's unrepeatable about you as a wrestler is a big measuring stick from where I sit. Because if it's stuff that other people can replicate, you're not an artist yet. Like you're not, there's an unrepeatable magic in everybody. And for you to leave your imprint on something, the unrepeatable thing is the thing that should shine through, in my opinion. Because otherwise, it's just a bunch of moving parts, right? Sol Ruca has tapped into that very early in her career. And it's just kind of like a who she is thing, it seems like, which is really cool that it shines through that vibrantly because there's an ease and a magnetism to her that is very specific to Sol Ruca with the high level of athleticism that she carries. Like it's not hyper energy. It's just very calm, collected energy. And you don't see that a lot. So you got to see a lot of that in this match. Her with Zaria is a fun pairing because Zaria will just like spear the hell out of you and F5 the hell out of you. She's awesome. If you want to see more of her, she's on NXT, but look up matches of Delta Brady because we haven't gotten to see who she really is yet on NXT. Delta Brady versus Jessica Troy is like incredible rivalry in Australian pro wrestling. So I would check that out. But this was fun. You had Charlotte. I'm a fan of Hot Tag Charlotte. She comes in, she goes wild, chops, follow away slam, huge crossbody. So Ruca almost wins with the Soul Snatcher, but you get Alexa breaking it up. Chaos abounds, right? Zaria sending Alexa into the barricade, which looked nasty because Zaria is a beast and Alexa is very small. And you have Sol Ruca hitting a second rope moonsault that partially missed. That was the only thing in this match that was a little sloppy, but Charlotte locking in the figure 8 to retain. And post match, there's like a bit of mutual respect. So predictable, but a decent enough showing. And what I like about this is the loss should serve the story. Like, to me, part of what makes a wrestling match great is, do the winners get something out of it and do the losers get something out of the loss? Does it serve the losers? Does it propel them in a direction in some way? And this does that. So there you go. Good day at the office. Can't complain. Get in those super chats and humper chats, guys. I'm out here all by my lonesome. But having fun with you guys. You guys have been so generous to me in the chat today. And we have a good episode of SmackDown to talk about. Like, it feels like maybe they've started to really listen to people's complaints. I actually thought everybody last week was like, oh, this week's SmackDown was amazing. And I kind of was like, I think you just brought back fresh faces to do the same bad booking, though. Like, there was interference and DQs and whatever last week. And I was like, that doesn't feel new and fresh to me just because newer people are doing it. It feels like the same old stuff, though with some more excitement around it. So I understand why people were enthused. But today, actually, I felt like was a much bigger step forward because some risks were taken in that U.S. title picture. And the closing angle actually felt like a fight, which is something I've been complaining about on this channel ad freaking nauseum. Ryan Sully saying WWE posted on Instagram, Soul selling after the match and being helped by Charlotte to the back. She's going to go far in this wrestling business. She's great. It's funny because her and Kalani Jordan in NXT kind of came to rise at the same time. And Kalani has grown so much into a wrestler. Her athleticism was always there. She's one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in the whole wide world. Like, Kalani is knockout gorgeous. Also very likable, but it felt like she was doing a lot of moves. And one thing that's really rewarding about watching and reviewing NXT, sometimes the only thing, because that show's real weird sometimes, but like getting to see wrestlers grow into being TV wrestlers is really rewarding. And we've seen that from Kalani. So Ruca kind of got it really, really early. Like, she just kind of figured it out really early. She had a really nasty injury and came back and like didn't miss a beat. Honestly, she's great. She's going to do great things in this company and in pro wrestling for a long, long time, which is great. We get an Aleister Black and Zelina Vega promo, which is a pre-tape, which is good. Aleister Black says that his manipulations of Damian Priest have been calculated for months. And he described himself and Zelina as the mirror, not the infection, and a necessary evil. I'm a little burnt out on spooky gimmicks in wrestling. I'm a little tired of them. I just also like, this is a very, very, very sharp turn for Zelina Vega. This is an inevitable evolution of Aleister Black, a very sharp turn for Zelina Vega. So her just jumping from like face that everybody was rooting for to now dark and twisty helping her husband, it's too much of an unjustified creative leap. Like everybody was, everyone was like, why did you shortchange her on the US title run? We love this woman. And then they were like, nope, you're dark and twisty and with your husband. Like, you got to fill in some of those gaps with more than just this backstage promo, man. Like that's kind of the only thing that felt like out of whack. Like you can't make a leap from lovable grounded babyface to dark and twisty, helping with my husband out of nowhere. That was a little much. A little much. But you know what? I bet in the long run it'll be pretty cool. So we'll take it. We'll take it. We get some tour crown jewel recaps that highlight everybody in Australia and in Japan. That's part of why Julia was not on tonight's show. She's already in Japan because I was about to come back on here and be like, where's Julia for the 100th time? Why isn't she just wrestling for the 100th time? But she's in Tokyo. There's a good reason. So I'll take it. But in addition to that, we also get a highlight of Steph Hair's win over Tiffany Stratton. Her first loss of the year. I'm glad that they mentioned that because it should mean something. And we have a backstage where Kathy Kelly interviews Tiffany, who downplays her loss and says it was a minor setback. But Kiana James interrupts and says, this is why I offered Steph Hair my services and not you, Tiffany Stratton. She is in, not to be a boomer about it, because it's not a complaint of mine, but it is quite the revealing shirt, I must say. It is, where it is buttoned, tied down. I was like, if she turns in either direction, every woman has had a terrifying, like, I don't want to pop out moment. Okay. She was tempting fate tonight. Not complaining about it. Fully believe empowered women should dress however the hell they want to dress. I'm just saying, as a woman, I can empathize with the idea of if I turn in a direction, something's getting set free, and I don't want that. So good for her. Good for her, because she must have been, I'm just saying, taped in there. But but we do have Tiffany saying, well, then fight me. She was like, you want to represent Julia because you can't fight. So fight me. And Kiana James says, all right, I'll fight you. My concern is that's going to be a very quick match and a very quick loss for Kiana James. Kiana James can wrestle her ass off. This is a misuse of her, in my opinion. She, not that she's bad at the role, but that her ceiling is much higher than what she's been given. Like, I think Kiana James can really, really work. I watched her in NXT for a long time. And I don't think Julia needs a manager. I think Julia needs to wrestle like 13 to 20 minute matches with her US title. That's how you get her over. Let her wrestle. That's it. Sometimes it just ain't that complicated. So it is what it is. Greg Cherry saying, hopefully Zelina is able to tap into more of her character work because she was solid for Andrade with him in NXT. Wonder whatever happened to him. Well, FightfulSelect.com has every detail available to tell you about what's going on with Andrade. Zelina with Andrade was amazing. I have full faith in her managerial abilities or however she's going to be interacting with Aleister Black. I just feel like we leapt creatively to get there. Like, there was no justification. But you're absolutely right, Greg. Her with Andrade and Bayley and then Sasha Banks were the things that carried the pandemic era for me. Like, everybody remembers Bayley and Sasha because it was so great. But like Andrade with Zelina, man, that duo helped Raw out so much. So much. So I'm with you wholeheartedly. I'm not against the duo. I just am like, we really just flipped a switch. We really flipped a switch on this, didn't we? Ryan Sully being very generous tonight because he is in a great mood tonight. He said he noticed WWE acknowledged the WWE YouTube Vault channel tonight. Was this the first time they did that? I love WWE Vault. They post some good stuff. They post amazing stuff. I don't know if it's the first time, but they don't like promote it. Like, they don't go out of their way to promote it that much, probably because they can't charge money for it. So they're probably like, why are we going to give all this airtime to it? The Vault stuff is great. The vault stuff is great. Everybody loves it. They should make it a known asset more than they do, a little bit more, but it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Good catch. I actually didn't catch that they had mentioned that. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate it. Keep those chats coming as we work our way through this episode of SmackDown, which was quite good. Quite good. I liked it better than last week. I'll tell you what feels like it is struggling. That is the development of this tag division. We talked a little bit earlier. But we have the Motor City Machine Guns, who have been here for a year officially. They signed their WWE contracts a year ago. And they're kind of trading barbs with Los Garza. And they agree to a match, which is great. The Motor City Machine Guns win with the Skull and Crossbones. Like, not a lot happens here, but I appreciate that we're getting title adjacent tag matches because this division is loaded. Like, my tag division complaints are never with the actual division on SmackDown. It's with the booking around it. But like, you have the Street Profits, you have Los Garza. We see Fraxium finally on screen for the first time in a long time. DIY doing what they do. Like, the teams are there. Raw is the one that's lacking. But some of the creative adjustments around it haven't been so great. I don't want a 3-hour SmackDown back at all. But I will say 3-hour SmackDown gave you more women's matches and more tag matches. And because this company is so production heavy, they didn't say, when they cut to 2 hours, they didn't say, let's cut out some lengths of entrances or anything like that. They weren't going to do that. They cut down matches. So I would love to see them kind of crank that back up. Los Garza looks good. I don't know what they're going to do with them now that Santos Escobar is back. It wasn't expected that he was going to be. That was I was going to say at the last minute thing, but it was past the last minute. His contract actually did expire. He just ended up choosing to resign there. I think, hot take, more free agents should do that. More free agents should say, I'm going to call your bluff and I'm going to make you scared that I leave because there is a better deal after I let my contract expire. Because he could have gone to AEW probably. I don't know for sure. Sure seemed it. He would do great things in AEW. So I say run the risk. Call their bluff. Make them prove it. But it also sounded like he was demanding better creative for himself, which I give him a lot of credit for because he had not been handled well on screen at all. He deserves it. And he is phenomenal. Oh, huge Santos gal over here. Huge Santos gal. But this match is just fine. This was mostly to put over the Motor City Machine Guns being there for a year. They have not gone out of their way to make them feel very important since, like, they showed up and they won the tag titles and that was cool. Didn't do much with the reigns. But we get a Skull and Crossbones on Angel for the win. This was exactly what you would expect out of these two teams, which is a perfectly solid match. It was classic Motor City Machine Guns, fast tags, creative double teaming stuff. The Garza's really focusing on Shelly's leg and isolating him for a while. So it was good. You would expect the athleticism on the Los Garza side. You would expect the Motor City Machine Guns to be working in the style that they pioneered, quite frankly. So there you go. There was also Axiom and Nathan Frazier complaining backstage a little bit about the lack of tag team direction, mostly like within themselves about it. Like, well, they just had a match, so what are we going to do about it? And DIY show up to confront them. And they say they've been like hanging in the background to let other people shine. They call out the Street Profits and say they were complaining that we were in the way. And then what happened? They went on to lose. They threatened to take Axiom's mask from him because on all of American television, the only storyline that people can think of is demasking, begging people to get more creative with their lucha influence on screen. On Tuesday night, we learned that Axiom was going to be in the Speed tournament. And I absolutely crashed out. I crashed out so hard when I found out Axiom was going to be in the speed title because he had not been on my TV on SmackDown. They had so much momentum coming up to the main roster, and it felt like all that momentum just got thrown off a cliff. And then I found out Axiom is going to be in a speed tournament in NXT to probably lose in the first or second round. It's only a 2-round tournament. What am I saying? It's a 4-person tournament or whatever. So I absolutely lost it because I have been on, and tonight was a good sign with Dragunov, but I was like, are they ever going to do anything with anybody that comes up from NXT that is exciting, that is not Tiffany Stratton or Braun Breaker? And I ranted. I ranted heavily. So it calmed my nervous system today to see Axiom back on my television because I think it's preposterous that the Raw Tag Division has nobody on it. There is nobody in the Raw Tag Division. The New Day has just been asking for the same tag title shot for months. JD and Finn haven't defended their titles since July 28th, I think it was. It's a disaster over there. You call up this young team in Axiom. They could have dethroned the New Day and gotten so much out of that, and nope. You have Finn Balor and JD McDonough, two excellent workers. Excellent workers. Yeah, we're gonna go from July 28th to now without having them defend. You got Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate being Americanos, Siete and Ocho at this point? Where the hell are the creeds? All these things and more. But crashed out on Tuesday. Very happy to see Axiom back on screen today. Very happy that there's being some care given to this tag division again. Like that is something that they should be doing on SmackDown because they have the teams for it. They have the teams for it. So let's talk about this main event segment. Earlier in the show, in addition to our opening segment, we have Cody and Fatu crossing paths. Fatu kind of doing the local references guy, says he's all gas, no brakes. And Cody says, I hope that's true because you're facing Drew McIntyre, buddy. He's no joke. But that wouldn't happen. Jacob Fatu's entrance is cut short. Backstage, there are cameras that find him trapped under equipment and coughing up blood. And this means that the number one contender match can't happen. There is a real life injury or medical situation going on with him. I don't know which, so I'm not trying to be evasive. I'm not being cute with my language. I just don't know. I just know he's sidelined from something that, to my understanding, is not wrestling related. It sucks. I talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show about how much momentum he has had. Not really since the SummerSlam match so much, but before that. And, now we kind of know why things have been maybe a little bit off kilter with him. But I could just say everyone at Fightful wishes him a full and speedy recovery. And it absolutely sucks. I like, who doesn't want to see Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre fight, first of all? Like, just on the most basic level, and then to see a guy's timing get thwarted by some sort of medical issue. That sucks. That sucks. The attack was well positioned. Matt Wright-Keel, I think, said earlier that, like, what if it was Cody who took him out? And I saw some people online saying that, and I was like, I just don't think Cody's doing the heel turn thing the way everyone thinks that he's gonna. Like, I feel like, number one, that would just be a bad decision when you first selling merch. Like, Cody has said in interviews, when he goes full heel, he's going full heel, meaning, like, he doesn't want to sell merch. He doesn't want to have merch that people want to buy and wear and be proud of. He wants to be despicable and do despicable things, and kids shouldn't be wearing that guy's t-shirt kind of thing. Like, he is if I go heel, I'm going scorched earth guy. So that would be silly, because right now everybody still loves him. And I get that the internet wants kind of like a shakeup with Cody, but I honestly think this second reign is off to such a better start than we got for the first reign. And I actually think there's some sneaky character development that people should be locked into, because his promo style's changed. He's not as exaggerated and emotional, and he even joked about it, right? He was like, I know I can be dramatic and messy or whatever a couple weeks ago in his promo, but like, I think that's him being a smarter champion the second time around, not letting his emotions get a hold of him the same way. Like, I think that's an intentional choice to not be dramatic pause tears guy. I feel like he's smarter, he's wiser, he's more in control of himself as a champion this time around. And I like that. I like that he in this segment, which we're going to talk about in a second, gave me something that I have been asking for on WWE programming to feel like certainly since Kevin Owens left, probably before that, but I'm sure it was Kevin Owens who did it. Probably in the match that he got the most injured. I have been begging WWE to give me something that feels like a fight. Give me two guys who actually want to beat the dog crap out of each other. Everything feels too pretty or like too dramatic, not like in a, oh, I'm so dramatic, but like dramatic in that like it's interpersonal and almost these high school level dynamics and whatever. Give me one guy and another guy who want to beat the ever-loving crap out of each other, and let's get back to pro wrestling. Tonight's closing segment actually did that. And I was so into it. I was so into it. Oh, I loved it. I loved this closing segment. You've got Cody in his street clothes. The only thing I didn't like was I felt like the setup was weak, but like for what they ended up giving me, like this was the creative you had to give me this week to get there, right? They're like, Cody is mad on behalf of the people that there was supposed to be a number one contendership match tonight, and now there is not because Jacob Fatu has gotten taken out, and that's a little corny. But like, Cody should not be this mad that a number one contendership match got sidelined. Like, not this mad. However, Cody should be this mad because it ruled. He hates Drew McIntyre's guts. Drew McIntyre hates Cody Rhodes' guts and the guts of everybody that have been standing in the way of his damn championship because he's earned it and he deserves it in his mind. And he is justified, and he will say he is justified at all times. And that's great. That is character motivation to try and get back to a championship title, is that there are all these things that he can pinpoint that stand in his way or rob him of opportunities every time he gets there. It's not because someone else did this or someone else did that, or my friend doesn't want to do that. He just wants to hold gold, and he is sick and tired of all these obstacles being in his way. That's awesome. And he's Drew McIntyre. He's like 7 feet tall, and he's jacked, and he's cool, and he'll beat your ass. He doesn't need a bunch of other fluff. He's that guy. And you have Cody Rhodes, who's a fighting champion, and guess what? He wants to be a fighting champion. He's pissed off. There was supposed to be a number one contendership tonight. That got thwarted, and he wants to defend his title. And he also, not a big fan of Drew McIntyre. He's always running around, whining, yapping. They already fought, right? And he, in his street clothes, is like, no, we're going to fight. It was so much cooler that he was in his street clothes for this segment. If he was in his wrestling gear, I would be like, this was good. And it was hot, and there was intensity. Him being in his street clothes was so much cooler to me. It was so much cooler to me. Oh, I loved it because he went out there looking for a fight. He didn't say, well, let me put on my gear and I'll come out with my robe and my, like, no, he just wanted to beat Drew up and he didn't care what he was wearing to do it. That's awesome. I love that. There's a crossroads on the table. This is my only issue is, much like the Blue Thunder Bomb of Sammy, this is nitpicky and it's nerdy and it's wrestling nerdy, but this is who you tuned into. The crossroads, it's like sometimes I need one, but other times I need 3 to do any damage. Crossroads on the table is a little different. I get it because it's on the table. But varying degrees of that, right? And I don't necessarily love that they didn't know whether or not it was a championship match or not. Like, he started attacking him. Vic Joseph wisely is like, the bell has not rung. Like, this is not a championship match, right? Like, they are beating the crap out of each other. Cody wants it to be for the title, but the bell hasn't rung. Vic Joseph, phenomenal down the stretch of this. I don't like that they kept that ambiguity alive, because at some point, like, you should know if a match is underway. Like, they went a little overboard on it, but I loved this, man. I loved it. And I'm not like the biggest Cody Rhodes gal in the way that a lot of other people are, just not because of anything to do with him, but the archetype is not for me. Like, it feels like very John Cena of yore, and I was not a fan of that either. Not because of him. He's knocking it out of the park, clearly. Look around the damn buildings. Thanks for the house, Cody, right? But this all day. All day I'll take this. Two guys beating the hell out of each other with tenacity because they hate each other's guts. One has the title, one wants the title. That is the baseline. That's where the baseline of pro wrestling should be. And then just the desire to beat the living crap out of each other was palpable. And a lot of times everything's just a little too pretty on WWE. I didn't love everything to do with Cody and The Rock, but like, The Rock beat the hell out of Cody with a belt. Real bad. Like, Cody knows how to make things feel like a fight when they let him do that. Like, that's all I want. Just let that happen. Just let that happen. I was up for this. But if you have trouble getting up for stuff, BlueChew.com.
You dealing with a nosy mailman all up in your business about what you're ordering, what you're getting? Well, don't worry about it with BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL. It ships discreetly. Discreetly. Fortunately for you, because the mailman's going to want to know what's going on. He's going to be delivering that mail to your house. He's going to hear all these sounds. He's going to be like, what's going on there? Well, I don't know, because this package doesn't say anything, but I have a feeling the package in there is saying something, and it will be, because of BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. Helps get you that main event performance and confidence. And you get your first shipment free when you go to BlueChew.com and use the code FIGHTFUL. Like I said, same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but much more affordable and in a chewable. Take their online quiz, and then when approved, it ships straight to your door. My gosh. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL. Mind your own business, mailman.
Yeah, mailman. Makes me miss Cardoza. But I do that. Yeah, mailman. That was our thing. Oh, I love this. I have been begging for things to feel like a fight, and this felt like a fight. And the motivations are clear, and it's not like so dynamic spaced. Like, this is awesome. This is what I want. This is also what I want in a champion so much. I want a champion to come out and do this. This is great. A little heavy-handed in the beginning, like I said. But the fans wanted a number one contender is a corny way to get there. I will stand by that. But everything that came after that was awesome, man. No, I was in on that 100%. And I will say, love this with Drew, because Drew's a guy that is going to bring the fight to you, and he's great. I don't need to see Drew be the biggest loser again. Like, he gets all these big losses, and it's cool because it feeds the character arc he's on, right? Of like all these justified things. But at some point, this guy's got to win something. You could sell me on a program with him and Dragunov. Are you kidding me? Oh, give me that 7 times a week and 8 on Sundays, right? Or 8 times a week. So what is it? Twice on Sundays is the point. The Broadway thing, the matinee and the nighttime show. But like, have the balls to do something is also cool. Let Drew win and then have Cody win it back and Drew gets stymied again, whatever. Like, that works too. Cody needs to be the guy who makes some young heels. Just do it. Just have Carmelo be a heel and face Cody Rhodes and them have a rivalry and Cody wins, but Carmelo gets elevated in the process. Like, he should be working with young talent because his strengths to me are in-ring storytelling guy. Listen to crowds when he wrestles. I'm not even like his world's biggest fan, but I'm also not an idiot. I can see with my eyes what happens when he wrestles, and I have ears where I can listen. In-ring wise, I've never had a complaint about the storytelling at all because he always understands how to make his opponent look good. He knows where the beats are. Like, I don't have issues with that ever with Cody. So let's make it productive. Let's put it to good use, please. Please. Anthony Velasquez saying, obviously Drew did not take out Fatu. Who do you think it was? My guess is Randy. Can definitely see them going into a Cody versus Randy feud soon. Don't think this feud with Drew is a long-term thing. Well, it's already a long-term thing in the sense that they had a match at WrestlePalooza, right? They had a match at WrestlePalooza already. Definitely could be Randy. That would be a fun way to turn him heel because I think he's headed in that direction. It kind of feels like he has to go heel off of the move though, because he's been teasing it so much. My only thing with that is like we've seen Cody and Randy already a bunch. Like I'm so ready for some new blood, man. Like it was so energizing having Ilja Dragunov there. They seem to want to do a Cody Randy thing again anyway. But it's like I'm so sick of watching the same 12 guys dance with each other. Cody, Randy, Punk, LA Knight, Drew. Who else? Seth, obviously. Did I say Punk? Like it's all the same guys. I've seen all of these permutations before. Gunther when he's around, but Gunther is like Gunther's someone he could wrestle a broom, and I'd be like, yeah, get that broom, but like, boo, you're a heel. Like he to me is like doing the Lord's work because R-Truth heel turn didn't go well. New Day heel turn didn't go well. Cena heel turn didn't go well. Seth Rollins and the Brawns heels that get cheered. Solo Sikoa getting more boos now, but everybody like secretly loves him. There's so many heels that get cheers, and Gunther is not that guy. Like he's the heel that gets booed, and that to me makes him the best. But anyway, I would like to see some fresh blood. I could see them blowing off the Randy thing though. They've been hinting at it long enough, but I feel like that would be after Survivor Series. Probably like they'll be on the same Survivor Series team. And then maybe Randy turns on him in that. Tim McFall is saying this was great, but they need to put the belt on Drew to make him feel like an actual threat. Let Cody chase, even if it's just to the Rumble. 100% agree. They've got to crap or get off. I'm going to say the sword with Drew. The throne with Drew, because you can. He is always going to be intimidating from his in-ring, duh, right? But at some point, he's got to win a big match. Like that just needs to happen so that we can continue to buy into the fact that he might. I'm also of the belief that Cody is a stronger chaser. Like I think him chasing is where emotional appeal comes in. That's true for a lot of people. I feel that way less about this ring with Adam Page, but watching Adam Page chase Kenny Omega for like a year. Oh, delicious stuff. So there's some guys that I think that's just where the magic is. I think Cody's one of them. But I like this Cody reign a lot better so far. A lot better so far than the last one. Greg Cherry saying, I still think the TLC tag match at SummerSlam was a here damn from Triple H. Also, another super chat because you're my favorite podcaster. Well, thank you, Greg. I appreciate that so much. We got two of those tag matches that were just like here damns, right? The Friday night one, and then the one with Candice LeRae taking the nastiest bump in the world. It's so funny because there's issues with both, in my opinion, the Raw and the SmackDown tag division, and they're completely opposite. Like Raw doesn't have the defenses or the teams for it. SmackDown has the teams for it and a decent amount of defenses, but they don't have the structural creative that needs to support the current champions. So there's issues on both sides from where I'm sitting. They're very different issues, and Raw is in way worse shape. It's bad. It's just bad on Raw. Like why you wouldn't have Finn Balor and JD McDonough wrestling is beyond me. Like those two are so much fun to watch. You have a whole numbers game sitting right there with your silly little Judgment Day stable. Come on. Guys, last call for super chats and humper chats. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. You were very generous. Almost 6,000 watching across platforms. So I don't want to quite be done yet, but we talked about everything there is to talk about on the show. I will tell you, in case you guys have any more chats for me, that we have quite a bit of wrestling chatter still on Fightful for you this weekend. We've got the Wrestle Dream pay-per-view coming up tomorrow. Sean Ross Sapp is going to be live by his lonesome, I believe, here on the Fightful YouTube channel. Alex Pulowski and I will be on Fightful Select tomorrow as well. If you want an alternative take, I'm sure that will be a very short, quick pay-per-view, as all AEW ones are. So, no, I'm just kidding. We're going to be talking till like 3 a.m. But join us there as well. I believe Grapsody is still doing a show, but I think they're doing it on Sunday. So that also works if you want to catch them at a different time than they're normally on. But I believe that's the plan. I'm not positive. So follow the Grapsody account for their specific time tomorrow. But plenty of wrestling to keep you sustained throughout autumn. We thank you so much for hanging out with us. Exciting things happening. A hot angle to close the show. Ilja Dragunov returns and is a new champion. Really, really good stuff. So to you, I say, thank you for joining me for this solo review. It means so much. Stay tuned for all the Wrestle Dream content you could want on this channel. Go check out Jamie Hayter's interview with Sean Ross Sapp, where they talked about a lot. They talked about influences in the UK women's wrestling scene when Jamie Hayter was kind of like first up and coming. She shouts out Alba Fire and Piper Niven in that. They talked about what it's like to be in a video game for the first time and how special that moment was. But most importantly, they recast Scooby-Doo with AEW wrestlers, which is just a really fun time. So check out that interview. It's about 15 minutes long. Jamie Hayter, of course, incredible and stunning as one would expect. But have a safe and wonderful wrestling weekend. I appreciate you chilling with me. I think we are having Cresta back next week. So I'm a happy gal about that. We'll see you then.